by Jersey Mike's, Platinum Dining Group, St. Mark's High School, and the Cicero family.
Welcome back into the SL24 Basketball Classic. It's the 7th annual event at the Chase Fieldhouse. And we've got game number 2 underway soon. It's Padua versus St. Mark's. The Pandas 10-4 on the season, coached by Denise Igo second. St. Mark's, the Spartans 5-8 on the season, coached by Val Karch, the mother of their star player, Sophia, who we'll see very shortly. We're all here to raise funds for SL24 Unlock the Light, and you can donate by going to unlockthelight.com/donate. The funds raised will benefit the SL24 Unlock the Light Foundation, which helps educate, assist, and support. And now we'll all rise for the playing of the national anthem.
This evening, the cadets from the Delaware Military Academy color guard. Ladies and gentlemen, here tonight to perform our national anthem, please welcome Padua alum and semi-finalist of The Voice, Olivia Rubini.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight that's gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
What an unbelievable rendition of the national anthem from Olivia Rubini. And you can see why she was a finalist on The Voice. What an honor to get to hear her sing and start off the St. Mark's portion of the night, if you will, as it starts with the girls basketball game. The Spartans taking on Padua, and then at 8 o'clock, the boys squad, St. Mark's taking on DMA. But what a contest this should be. I'm Scott Klaskin, seated next to Barnett Harris and Bill Harmon. We called one game so far, St. Elizabeth with a victory over Archmere, and now a bit of a SL24 rivalry game as these two teams played one another a season ago. Padua getting the best of St. Mark's in 2024, 52-49, and if it is as close as it was a season ago, we'll be in for a real treat.
Well, these two teams play each other every season in the Catholic Conference, so to speak, 2 games a year, so they know each other quite well. These girls play AAU together, so there are going to be no surprises out here. But Padua off to a really good start. They've got three outstanding players, Abby Hayes, Abby Grillo, and Sophia Buffone, who actually was a St. Mark's player last year.
As we go into a bit of a star watch, you mentioned the players for both of these teams, as we will get into that in just a moment. And we will continue. It looks like we are good to go, as there was a prayer I didn't want to interrupt going on the court. But as we look into the star watch for Padua, they are led by their floor general, Abby Grillo, while St. Mark's is led by Sophia Karch, the daughter of Val Karch in her second year as head coach of the Spartans. As they announce starters on the floor, let's talk a little bit more about why we are here, and that is the SL24 Foundation. It is their mission to educate, assist, and create a safe haven where high school and college students can seek professional help and speak to peers about their struggles. Not only is there Sean's House, but there's a Peer 24 program and Sean's Room located at St. Mark's High School and at Sally's, the Warehouse at Wilmington, and at St. George's High School. So much of a difference is being made for young people in the state of Delaware. 33,000 plus visitors have come through the door of Sean's House. 4,400 sessions with Peer 24 support specialists, and 270 plus specialists have been trained to support. It's all through the money raised through this basketball classic and through donations at unlockthelight.com/donate. Over $2.2 million have been raised for Sean's House and the SL24 Foundation the first 6 years of this event, and we look forward to raising even more than last year's $600,000 in year 6. Year 7 off to a great start, and we're happy to be here.
Absolutely. I'm so honored to be here every year. This is one of my favorite weekends and favorite events, and I'm so happy to be able to contribute even just a small piece of this to this wonderful group and this wonderful cause to celebrate, or what was started for a wonderful man.
Scott, when I walk around outside in the concourse, I am just stunned by how many volunteers there are, how many people it takes to put on this event. Chris Locke and the board, not including myself now. I don't get a chance to do as much as people like Barnett and others. But it's an amazing volunteer movement. I am so impressed with that, how after 7 years there's been absolutely no fatigue. It seems to grow every year. Fantastic job by the community, and I just love the outreach into the high schools. I'll tell you, I think that's going to have a monumental effect in years to come.
It is wonderful to sit next to you two and remember our dear friend Sean Locke. If you want to donate while you watch, there's the QR code, or head to givebutter.com/SL24 Classic 7. You can scan that code. It'll get you there. You can also text Classic 7 to 53555. Well, if this one's as good as the first contest of the day, we will be excited because the first matchup, St. Elizabeth and Archmere, really came down to the final quarter of that one where St. Elizabeth was able to pull ahead. Good crowd on hand on a Friday night. We know it'll be packed tomorrow as there's 6 games to play on a Saturday. St. Mark's wearing the green, Padua in the whites. Padua going right to left on your screen. St. Mark's left to right, and we are underway. Game number 2 of the 7th annual SL24 Basketball Classic. Molly Mager is the point guard. Sophia Buffone, as you mentioned, Bill, was wearing the green jerseys last year in this contest. She transfers over from St. Mark's, and she is the team's leader in three-point field goals made for Padua this season. As we get underway, a whistle on the floor on the dribble drive. That's Kai Dunrantry, the sophomore, who's a heck of a scorer for Denise Sackett's ball club.
Well, you talk about Sophia Buffone. She comes from a long line of basketball heritage. A lot of great players in that family. She is a terrific spot-up shooter. She's got to be well attended to from the three-point line.
And we know her brother Brandon right now, a member of the University of Delaware basketball team. There's a three is on the way and off the mark, out of bounds. So Brandon, a member of the UD squad, just like Sean Locke was, a walk-on to the program after having a successful career at Salesiana. Her brother won a state championship in 2023. Her dad, Brandon, played at St. Mark's and Wilmington University. And don't forget Renee, her mom, who played volleyball at Wilmington University. The Buffone squad, a lot of talent in that bloodline. And now St. Mark's will get their first set. They go through Sophia Karch. She wears number 23. Basketball in her hands right now. Leading scorer about 14 points per game. She is carrying the load for St. Mark's in the scoring column on the year. Maybe gets away with steps there, floats one up, and Buffon will control.
Scott, you talk about Karch, the coach's daughter. Sophia, remember her when she was just born. Val Karch has been involved in the St. Mark's women's program for years. She worked under John Fiorelli and then many others, and now getting opportunities to show off her skill set as the head coach.
Coached the JV squad for over 20 years for St. Mark's. So now getting the head coach ranks. Their squad down 2-0 and now 4-0. Good ball movement by Padua. It ends in the hands of Lily DeMarco, who gets two. She scored double figures in 3 games this season and gets 2 there.
Padua picking up the tempo a little bit and putting up a little bit of pressure to try and speed up this St. Mark's team.
Aya Husnader driving towards the rim along the baseline, kick out shot. Sophia Karch is good from the corner. Beautiful form on that shot.
Absolutely, she's got great range, but the play was made by the drive along the baseline and then the Princetonian pass through to the deep corner. Karch shot ready.
Another assist for Husnader. She leads the team in that category, and an assist for Padua, a bucket good for Lily DeMarco. She's got the last 2 for Padua.
DeMarco with a nice spot-up shot from the mid-range. Padua shares the ball extremely well. They have multiple scorers.
Contact a moment ago, no whistle. Now firing up with 3. Maybe not the best shot selection for Val Karch's team. A rebound to Padua. Now on the run they go. To Durantry, baseline jumper's good, and that'll lead to a timeout taken by Coach Karch as we get things started here. Padua up 8-2 after Durantry's jumper.
Padua does a good job of when you're picking up the pace, shooters seeing where the drive is going, as you see, and spotting up and being ready for the quick shot. As Durantry went to the perfect position for a nice clean pass and a clean jumper.
A good pass from Mager to thread the needle a bit and find Durantry. She's got 4, averages 10.4 points per game on the season. You see Locke 24 on the back of the jerseys. That's the number that was worn by Sean Locke when he was a member of St. Mark's boys basketball team, then a member of the University of Delaware, where he was part of the championship squad and was a captain his senior year. A teammate of yours, Barnett, and we're here to share stories. Remember Sean as we raise funds for the SL24 Unlock the Light Foundation.
Padua looked like they were going to show a little full-court pressure, but they're going to fall back. Now, they play a variety of defenses. They play man-to-man, and then they do play a matchup zone from time to time with some full-court pressure.
Crossover there by Karch after her mother called the timeout. Leans in, around 2, and misfires. Abby Hayes gets the rebound. She'll pull ahead. Sophia Buffon, the driver, and steps before the contact. The turnover for Padua.
She went to visit her brother in Newark on that drive.
That's how many steps she took, Barnett. Is that what we're getting at? For the record, her brother is in New Jersey right now as Delaware takes on Monmouth tomorrow against the big game against the Hawks. Sophia Karch, she's the leader on this team. Must be a neat experience for Coach Karch. I know that it is, to coach her daughter and see her play so well as she drives and is bumped a bit before the shot. Sophia Karch couldn't get off to a better start on the season in the opener on December 7th as we see nice ball fake and dribble drive there. She dribbled the length of the court, spinning out of a trap, and hit a game-winning layup at the buzzer against AI DuPont as this team got a victory and started 1-0 thanks to her heroics. So doesn't get much better than that to start the year, and she's continued to play well throughout. A jumper there.
I love her pace of play. She's always shot ready as it was on that corner 3, but what I like about her is she's very fundamentally sound. Of course, a coach's daughter, uses the shot fake well, knows how to get in triple position. She's a really fine player.
Absolutely, and this St. Mark's team is going to have to play through her and allow her to get shots to keep up with the pace Padua is setting.
Drive off the mark. Good defense that time by the Spartans. They're now pushing the basketball is Madiela Kiefer. Karch left open, don't want to do that. Beautiful rotation on the shot.
Nice job by identifying where Karch was in the trailer position in that top of the key slot position. Her teammates know where to find her and will look for her. Very unselfish play by St. Mark's early on.
17th three-pointer on the season. Buffon knows something about knocking down triples. Her 26th make of the year.
She's got excellent form on her shot. Shot ready as well. But what I like about her is her lower body usage.
It's a big game for her, playing against her former coach and former teammates, St. Mark's. Transfer over to Padua as the jump shot off the mark and a rebound for the Pandas. They're 10-4 this season. St. Mark's has been struggling. They've lost 7 of their last 9 games after missing some pretty big pieces. They graduated Lauren McDonald last year, did St. Mark's, and of course Sophia Buffon, one of the big pieces that transferred over to Padua. Foul on the floor. Excuse me, foul called will send Kaya Durantry to the free throw line. Only a sophomore, but averaging double figures for Denise Ego-Sackett's team. Coach Sackett in her 3rd season on the coaching staff. She also a graduate of the team she is coaching, like we had in the first game, and do in this game as well. It seems to be a theme, as Coach Karch graduated St. Mark's in 1995 and Coach Ego-Sackett in 1997 at Padua.
She's got a veteran coach on her staff, Mike Sanford. He used to be on the men's side. He was at William Penn for a number of years. Has been around to some other stops, but seemed to have found his way here into a really good Padua program. I know he's doing a great job.
It's great to have Coach Sanford on the bench over at Padua as they dump it in once again to Ali DeMarco, who's got 6. Coach Sanford, he was the head coach of William Penn when they won a championship in 2009. A great player by the name of Brian Oliver that went on to play at Georgia Tech with Derek Favors and transferred to Seton Hall, but they had a loaded team that year. Some great coaching as well with Coach Sanford.
We had to play against them that year, and I remember Gart trying to come up with a game plan to stop Brian Oliver. We actually didn't do a bad job on him, but others were a little bit better. But that was a really fine team. Mike Sanford did a great job of kind of coordinating that group. They had some excellent players, but it was their role players in the big moments that played a dynamic part.
Down blocked out of bounds. What a start by Lily DeMarco on both ends of this basketball court. 6 points and a block there. We shout out Mike Sanford, also Brianna Maloney, Link Wolski, and Michelle Cardy, the assistants for Padua, and great defense there.
Absolutely, Coach. I'm really impressed with this DeMarco. Hit a nice mid-range, then take us down to the post and show that she has good footwork to hit a low and plays defense. She's a two-way player. She's off to a great start. I really like her game so far.
And Padua's done a really good job defending their defensive glass. A big team, but also a good rebounding team who moves their feet extremely well to get those balls in the mid-range.
St. Mark's running the floor just as Padua did, but the result is the same for both teams, missing in the painted area. They continue to try to go inside, and a turnover as the pass sails long off the hands of Abby Hayes. Some substitutions as Durantry will check back in. Get a breather for DeMarco. And we'll see Natalie Van Zura, the 9th grader, in for the first time for St. Mark's.
Both coaches going to their benches early, I think, not only to get their players out on the court and get a feel for this environment, but also because of the length of the court does present some fatigue features.
Van Zura has provided a spark off the bench. 32 points on the year, 31 rebounds. Rebounds the ball well, despite not being one of the taller players out there on the court. Karch with the basketball. Between the leg dribble. Looks for a teammate. And a steal by the Padua Pandas gives it back to Sophia Buffon, who has a three-pointer in this fast way. Multiple players we've seen run point for Padua so far.
They have a lot of versatility, and Abby Grillo not playing in the game as of yet. Certainly they missed their fine ball handler.
In the corner. Buffon will try from the G League three-point line and misfires. Good save by Karch. And a rebound for St. Mark's. That's a great point you make, Bill, is that we haven't really gotten into the fact that Abby Grillo is out, at least so far in this one. We have not seen their leading scorer averages 15 points per game. She's made 21 threes on the season, and she scored 25 of the team's 50 points in a game, about half against St. Elizabeth back in December. So we talked about St. Elizabeth playing without their top player in the first game of the day, and now Abby Grillo seemingly not available for Padua as well.
And you hate to see one of your senior leaders, Coach Zagat said, defined her as their floor leader. So you miss her. Other people have to be able to handle the ball under some pressure moments. So a good job so far adapting has been Padua.
Now a 3-ball on the way. Nothing but the bottom of the net from Olivia Markey. A high arcing triple. And St. Mark's needed it as we close out the first quarter of action. Padua can get one more shot up. They'll have to get off now. They don't recognize the clock. And a big-time 3 makes it a one-possession game after 1. Padua leads at 13-10 as we take a timeout. It's the SL24 Basketball Classic from the Chase Fieldhouse. Padua on top by 3 after 8.
From your favorite athletes to your favorite music, listen to everything you love and so much more with the free iHeartRadio app. From live play-by-play to your favorite game day anthems and the biggest sports podcasts in the world, the iHeartRadio app lets you take it all with you and stay connected to your favorite team wherever you go. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
Who will he grow up to be? Well, that depends on all of us. That's why, along with our groundbreaking medical care, Nemours Children's Health supports programs that address issues like food insecurity and the resources essential to learning. It's all part of creating a healthier future for all children. So, he can grow up to be whoever he wants to be. Nemours Children's Health, well beyond medicine.
The 7th annual SL24 Basketball Classic is brought to you by BPG Sports, High Five Hospitality and Buffalo Wild Wings, iHeartRadio, Kevin and Marion Healy, and Mark and Pat Siegel.
We're back at the Chase Fieldhouse in Wilmington, Delaware, and after 8 minutes, Padua up by 3, 13-10. The Pandas playing without their leading scorer, Abby Grillo. But it's been Lily DeMarco and Sophia Buffon stepping up so far for the Pandas with the basketball. Abby Hayes, and a violation against the Pandas will give it to St. Mark's.
Really nice job there by Mia Husnader, providing really close defense. When you're a ball handler, you've got to have that clock in your head. If you're closely defended for 4 seconds, pick the ball up, pass it to someone, or you're going to get the 5-second call.
Quick 5 there as they give it up to St. Mark's, and St. Mark's perhaps giving it right back. Do they? Yes. Durantry with the steal, and then one more turnover. Why not? Oh, back to Padua. And now the Pandas have it. After all of that, a 3-ball on the way. You would have called it a pass if Buffon was able to corral it underneath, but it sails even over her head. And so a missed opportunity for Padua after the ball ricocheted through a few people. Re-entering the game is Daly O'Donohue, one of the captains, and good to have her back as Van Zura heads to the bench. O'Donohue broke her wrist in the 3rd game of the season. She's a great rebounder, obviously a captain on this team, so she's working her way back into rotation, but a big part of what makes this St. Mark's team go, and they are better with her on the floor.
Well, she reminds me of her brother, who was a football player at St. Mark's and now at the University of Delaware. A really good tight end linebacker. Not that that's what she is, but you can tell just by her physicality. A good around the block, good rebounder, blocks out well, and then is very physical with her defense.
One thing I noticed in the first quarter was St. Mark's was, as we had an inadvertent whistle.
There's some conversation going on at the table. There was a horn. I'll let you finish your thought, though, Brian.
One thing I noticed in the first quarter was St. Mark's did a good job at getting Karch shots without her having to create it. And in the second quarter, she's been trying to create, but Durantry has been playing incredible on-ball defense. I would like to see St. Mark's run up one of their go-to sets that either has her coming off some screens or has a driving kick where she's off the ball and they can swing the ball and kick it, because that seemed to work for them.
The pause long enough for Coach Karch to say, hey, maybe I'll make a substitution here. As Falsnall comes out of the ball game, and a substitution in. We see Mariella Kiefer re-enter. 6:50 left to play in the first half, and no points scored yet in the second quarter. And starting the second quarter the same way that the first ended is Olivia Markey. Another high arcing three. She's got the last 6 in the ball game, and we are tied at 13-all.
The scouting report on Olivia Markey is she likes to drive it, but she has really gotten very capable of spotting up in that deep corner. Wonderful arc on that shot.
Coach says she's the best ball handler on the team. She doesn't need to handle the ball if she's standing out there beyond the arc and knocking down threes like that. A really impressive spurt for the 10th grader. You could see the excitement on her face when that ball went down from the corner as well. And Coach Karch is really high on Markey and her ability to become a great player in this program. Only her second year. She's played with some veterans and doing so this season as well. But a little bit younger this year as they're rebuilding a bit at St. Mark's. And she's a big part of the plan for sure. Second foul on O'Donoghue. And Padua was up by 6. Markey has changed that. Another dribble drive from Durantry. She's only a sophomore herself. Has scored double figures in 5 games this season. 5 that are available. Not all the stats for every game are always available in high school basketball, but I think 11 were available, and 5 of those she's gotten to 10 or more.
Well, you did a great job with your research, Scott. Kai Durantry, I've been very impressed with her. She moves well with and without the ball. She's a good rebounder. Barnett, you talked about her defense at the other end on Karch, kind of giving her some difficulties. So this sophomore has really risen up, second leading scorer on the team. Very impressive player.
I'm really impressed with her game. Two-way player, plays both sides hard, and gives it her all. And then if she needs to come out for a crate like me, she'll raise her hand.
And there's been a lot of
You never asked out of the game, Barnett. Come on now. And I guarantee you Sean never asked to come out because he was always looking for that next great long-range 3.
You mentioned Sean. Sean, like the reason that we are here to honor his memory is we raise funds for Sean's House and SL24 Unlock the Light. Their objectives to educate, assist, and support. Sean's House and Sean's Rooms provide safe spaces for brave conversations. They're not always easy, and mental health support with trained Peer 24 support specialists. Everything is always free because of your donations. The money raised over these next 2 days will help make sure that everybody that needs help will be able to get help and without going out of their pocket. It's amazing what Sean's House has done in the community, and you can help donate. On your screen, you see the QR code, or go to givebutter.com/SL24Classic7. So happy to be here tonight as we raise money for an amazing charity.
Well, with Barnett here, and we talk so much because obviously this is the basketball classic, but a lot of people don't remember what a great baseball player Sean Locke was. He was an excellent pitcher. I remember when he was young in his career as a sophomore, I ventured out a couple times down to some of those backfields in Newark to watch him pitch, and he had a pretty darn good fastball, had great poise on the mound, great command. It was just really fun to watch him. So over the years, not only was his basketball terrific, but he became a very good pitcher for a terrific St. Mark's baseball program.
Well, if Chris Locke is listening right now, I think you just gave him an idea. We might be back in the spring, maybe over at Frawley Stadium for the SL24 First Annual Baseball Classic. Not a bad idea, as he was a multi-sport star. There's this pause on the floor, which will allow us to talk a little bit more about Sean and the cause. You know, Sean's House opened in September of 2020, and since then, 33,000 people have walked through the door in need of help. 140 active crises have been served, helping people in active need, thinking about suicide. And we round some of the other numbers, 33,000 plus visitors, 4,400 plus sessions with Pier 24. That is a real number because those are real active situations. Those are real scenarios where people were thinking about suicide and got to live another day because of Sean's house. And to think about that, it's just amazing. What started as an idea to honor Sean Locke has saved literal lives throughout the years.
The numbers that have been reached in such a short time, in a way, is a good thing and a bad thing, that there is so much need for this. Barnett, let me ask you, when you were at Delaware, before obviously the Sean Locke movement happened, if a player you recognized was having a difficulty, was there some outlet for that person to use?
No. Well,
maybe a coach or a mentor or someone like that, right?
And that's not saying much. Yes, you might hey, I'm here for you, but I can't help you navigate a crisis. I can be there to support you. So there really wasn't. We say we were there and we'll help you, but we don't know everything that you may need in that very moment. So to have that professional help to help, especially when you're in crisis mode, is that wasn't there when I was at the University of Delaware.
And that's a great point, because we think about the money raised tonight. You can see how to donate on your screen about keeping the doors open, which it does. And a three-pointer falls from the corner for Molly Mager. And it does keep the doors open. But part of the funds also go to training those specialists. Almost 300 specialists have been trained to support. So you're not only talking to people and your peers, you're talking to the right people, the right peers that know how to help you in a dangerous situation. And so the money donated tonight and throughout this event, it all goes to the Sean's House and SL24 Foundation. We're so happy to be a part of this event for such a great cause. As Padua up 20-13, we're halfway through the second quarter of basketball, and Padua has won 4 of their last 5 games coming into this one. Playing, though, without Abby Grillo, who is their leading scorer on the season. Other players have stepped up, including Mager, who just had her pass knocked out of bounds. Buffon's got 5 points. DeMarco with 6, and 5 points for Kai Durantry.
Scott, the one thing that I really appreciate about the SL24 mission, and at Sean's House in particular, is we've stayed true to what we said when this first started. It was going to be open 24/7, and it was going to be free of charge. And we've made sure that no matter the time, whether it's midnight or noon, someone's going to be there to open that door, and you will never have to pay a single dollar.
And another great point, you don't always have these thoughts, these depressing thoughts during regular business hours, right? It's not, oh, it's after 5 o'clock, so you're on your own. And I think that's a great point that you made. It is open 24/7, and to keep the doors open, we raise funds here. Go to unlockthelight.com/donate. You can even text Classic 7, the number's 53555 to help. As there's a foul on the floor. Padua up by their largest margin, 22-13. They are on a 9-0 run as this game was tied at 13 after an Olivia Markey corner 3.
And one thing St. Mark's needs to do on the defense upside, the refs are calling the reaches pretty tight. They need to just stay in front of their girl and try to play straight up defense, not try to go to create a fast breaker, create some easy points, because the refs are calling it pretty tight.
The toughest thing about Padua to guard is the fact they have multiple scorers on the floor, and you cannot focus just on 1 or 2. They have 5 capable scorers, even without Grillo.
Markey will bring the ball up the floor. 2 big three-pointers, but no baskets as a team since she made one on the far side of the court. And a blocking foul can be called. It's an offensive foul. Going to go against St. Mark's.
We see that one at the collegiate level all the time now on dribble handoffs.
That's Maddie Fasnaugh who got called. You can see here just coming over, maybe throwing that hip out a little bit.
Well, if you're going to be a screener, you've got to be set. And you have to have your feet set, your elbows can't extend, your hips can't move. It requires the ball handler to use the screening action. If there's separation and you try to close that separation as a screener, it should be and will be called a foul.
Graham with the basketball, coming off the bench into the basketball game. Tries to go inside to DeMarco, who's having a really good night. So is Durantry, and a whistle on the drive there. And if that's on Karch, And that's her third. That's a big foul there for St. Mark's. Everything goes through Sophia Karch, the captain.
Sophia has got to be sure that she plays good defense without fouling. They just don't have enough scoring if she were to leave the game. Plus, she's their best on-ball defender.
And so a conversation between her and her mother, Val Karch. She's got to come out, though. It's too long of a basketball game. You got to play these next 2:22 and try to keep it close until she can come back in the third. And you see the dialogue, mother to daughter, but it is coach when they're on that floor, I'm sure.
I don't think Sophia takes to being out of the game too long. Sometimes you've got to trust a senior, a veteran, getting back in and just knowing how to play hard but not picking up that fourth foul.
Markey, no one stopped the ball. She pulled the trigger on a triple and missed. A rebound by Padua. They give it right back, though. St. Mark's has an opportunity to run. They will. It's Van Zura. Give and go. And a misfire at the rim. They just could not finish. The play was there, but Madiella Kiefer could not finish on the play. And Kiefer's a good scorer. We talk about Karch and her ability, but Kiefer, a missed opportunity there to hit that float shot. She averages about 9 points per contest. Couldn't add to her total today.
It was pretty good action in the open court, though. Unselfish pass initially back, and you just got to be able to find a way to get to the backboard. If you try to finish over the front of the rim, your chance of making the shot is much less unless you're going to do as Barnett used to do and dunk it.
Absolutely.
All the time we saw Harris.
A lot of those, especially in warm-ups.
Dunking that one through.
Them.
Now, we mentioned Karch out of the basketball game with the third foul. Padua at the free throw line because 5 fouls for St. Mark's. Nothing called against Padua, and I don't think that's officiated. I think that's just the way that the game's been played. Padua's been the aggressor, and now a timeout taken by Coach Sackett in her third season. She wants to talk things over after a missed free throw at the line, which brings us an opportunity to talk a little bit about the online auction. I want to go back to that because there are 80 auction items in total. Go to givebutter.com/SL24 Classic 7. A Jalen Carter autographed Eagles jersey, 100 level sideline tickets to a Villanova men's basketball home game. There's a 7-night vacation in Antigua. I can barely pronounce it. That's how far away I am from ever going there. It's a beautiful destination, but 8 elite island vacation packages from around the Caribbean. Barnett, I know you told me you would bring me along if you were to win the online auction, so I appreciate that. Capers and Lemons gift basket with $500 Platinum Dining Group gift card. The list goes on and on. Make sure you head to the online auction. It's Give Butter. I'm not saying better. I'm saying butter. Give Butter. BUTTER.com/SL24 Classic 7. I did check to make sure that was not a misprint in my notes. It is givebutter.com.
Scott, I love the fact that you like those Caribbean islands. I'm surprised you're not going to slip down there at some point after all the work you do from August till March.
I would love. We'll see. See if we can get down there.
You deserve a trip. Whether Barnett gets it for you or not.
Oh, look at this. A 3 from the right side. We saw St. Mark's get one from the left side. I want to go back to the trip that you guys are offering me, but maybe we'll talk more at halftime. We're a minute 36 away.
I've got a good travel agent, Scott.
I know you do. You're keeping the travel agency business in business.
I used to, for
all
sure.
Your travel. 3-point shot out the mark. Going right over the back of Markey was DeMarco. No whistle there. Now a jump ball with 1:21 remaining. And Padua up by 9, 25-16.
Well, somehow St. Mark's has got to keep this game close within 10 points with Karch out. If they can hold it to there and Karch gets going in the second half, they've got a chance.
Quick shot off the inbound for the lefty Abby Hayes, who had 15 points in the game against Friends earlier this season. Hasn't scored tonight. 80 are under 70 seconds as the shot falls out of bounds. We're approaching the 1-minute mark of the first half. Padua up 25-16. Padua 10-4 on the season. One of the top teams in the state of Delaware. St. Mark's, they've been on a slide, losing 7 of their last 9 coming into this one.
Great pass by DeMarco right there. Great unselfishness in both games we've seen.
Buffon drives. She's known for a 3-point shooting. He gets to the rim there. Cannot finish. And now St. Mark's maybe hold for one. Your leading scorer's out of the game with foul trouble. Don't give the ball back to Padua. try to get a good shot before heading into the locker room.
Perfect strategy, and they should do that. Unfortunately, a turnover trying to make a penetrating pass.
Claire Smith got her pass deflected by Gianna Graham. They will get it back, though, as turnover for both squads gives it to St. Mark's with 29.4.
Now, St. Mark's should definitely withdraw the ball, attack with about 10 seconds to go, give yourself a chance for an offensive rebound, shoot the ball at about 4 seconds, so you do not allow Padua any sort of offensive opportunity.
St. Mark's with 16 points and seconds remaining. And drawing contact and the foul after an aggressive take, Natalie Van Zura. Only a freshman. Several freshmen and 10th graders playing for Val Karch's team this season out of necessity. They lost and graduated some really solid players. We talked about Sophia Buffon transferring, so kind of remaking the roster this year, and some youngsters getting more minutes. Van Zura is one of them. This is on the free throw, though. And now just to make sure DeMarco doesn't pick up a foul, she'll come out of the ball game. And Riley Bransfield will check in. Final 12.4 the first half. First girls game of the tournament. 2 misses for St. Mark's. A rebound, and Padua has a chance. 10 seconds to add on to their lead. 7 seconds as Hayes gets across half court. Buffon wants it, gets it. 4 seconds, fires, and almost beats the buzzer around and out, but a solid first half performance by Padua as they lead 25-16 over St. Mark's.
An entertaining game here. St. Mark's with some foul trouble with their leading scorer, Sophia Karch, but they battled hard. A couple long-range shots from Markey in the corner. Padua right now just a little bit more aggressive, driving the ball, getting to the free throw line, and doing a little bit better job on the glass.
Absolutely. St. Mark's, if I'm going into halftime, I'm coming to that with some sets that I know will get at least open shots. If Padua, I'm picking up the pace, I'm pushing the tempo, because that's what's worked in the first half. I'm driving, I'm crashing the boards, I'm trying to get as many second chance shots and draw as many fouls, because that brought success for them in the first half.
Game number 2 of the night is at the half. St. Mark's versus Padua. Padua on top, 25-16. We'll take a break, but don't go anywhere. Or maybe on your way to the fridge or wherever you're going at the half. Before you do, head to unlockthelight.com/donate. We're here for the cause. It's SL24 and Sean's House. SL24 Basketball Classic, the half for game number 2.
Partnerships built on relationships. That's our motto at Partnerships built on relationships. That's our motto at CBM Insurance, and those words guide everything we do. We provide the best possible service experience because our focus is on the relationship first. When you join CBM, you join a team with an average of 20 years in the insurance industry, long-standing relationships with our carrier partners, and deep roots in our community. We stand ready to be your trusted partner and insurance advisor.
It's brutal, so slow.
Good thing we brought Jersey Mike's. Is that Danny DeVito?
Don't worry about me. This is a commercial for Jersey Mike's. And at Jersey Mike's, the subs matter most. Freshly sliced right in front of you. That's what matters here. Almost forgot. I found your ball.
It's a rock.
Where the subs matter most. It's a Jersey Mike's thing. A sub above.
I have a son who passed away July 2017, and for a long time I knew he had mental health issues. But for a mom, I always say 7 years later I was uneducated. We think depression, it's just about putting your big boy pants on and getting past it. Those things lead to death. With addiction, it is not a time of if you're going to die, it's when you're going to die. If you continue using, you are going to die. If you are not healing the trauma that happened, at some point when you're not talking to a therapist, when you're not coming to a place like Sean's house where you're learning coping mechanisms and all the other things they do here, you're going to need to numb all those things that are going on in your head. And you're going to start out small because you think it's not going to happen to me. Everybody who thinks it's not going to happen to them, guess again, it is going to happen. If you had cancer, you would be happy to talk about it. You would put it out there. I have heart disease, I have leukemia. But the minute someone says, I have an addiction or my kid has an addiction, suddenly people are thinking, where did you go wrong? What's wrong with your child? Why didn't you help them? We need to come to places like this where there are resources that are beyond just the average parent. Reach out and get help.
So this is a non-adult area where they feel like this is a safe place for them to maybe just decompress, maybe get peer support, maybe just do their schoolwork in a different environment.
A couple months ago, this space was a outdated teacher center with a lot of unused material, and there was some vision and some excitement around creating this space for students to support our students' needs.
I worked with Justin and Chris when the idea came about, and they had the idea to add a Sean's room in this school, and we had done 2 of the schools already, and 2 of those schools were private schools. And I'm a firm believer that it's not just needed in private schools, but it's needed in all the schools.
I feel like this room would just help everybody who's suffering through these mental challenges to just feel more comfortable and get some coping skills and just feel more relaxed.
When they come here, they're gonna see peers, they're gonna see other students engaging, they're gonna see activities, they're gonna see meetings, and it's gonna be a first-person look on what this room really is and open the full meaning of Sean's room and Sean's house to them.
There are things that are in here that are nicer than I've put in my own house. Things that are in here that are nicer than my own office. Significantly larger than the Sean's room that's at St. Mark's and or Sally's and even the teen warehouse. And we kind of laid this out so that there were 4 or 5 different areas. We started out with a family gathering room, which is what you see behind me. There's a game room. The game room has an air hockey table and a foosball table. We have an exercise room, exercise kind of relax, yoga type area. And the thing that is most important to me is the study room that we have.
There's games for people, there's a whole yoga studio, which I am so excited to utilize. And there's a space to study. It's just something for everyone. So those are the ways we kind of get students in the room. But once you're in the room, you're welcomed into this non-judgmental space where I'm not here to judge you and I'm here to listen to you. Like, we can play a game of Uno and you complain about your classes or you tell me what's going on at home, and like, we connect over that.
It took a lot in me to actually admit that I did not have it all together and I really actually truly struggled, because I had a lot of expectations put on me. So I believe that this room will really, really help. So to have this room, I feel like it's amazing. Like, honestly, it's amazing. Like, I really think a lot of people will benefit from it. And I'm very, very excited.
From your favorite athletes to your favorite music, listen to everything you love and so much more with the free iHeartRadio app. From live play-by-play to your favorite game day anthems and the biggest sports podcasts in the world, the iHeartRadio app lets you take it all with you and stay connected to your favorite team wherever you go. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
Who will he grow up to be? Well, that depends on all of us. That's why, along with our groundbreaking medical care, Nemours Children's Health supports programs that address issues like food insecurity and the resources essential to learning. It's all part of creating a healthier future for all children. So, he can grow up to be whoever he wants to be. Nemours Children's Health, well beyond medicine.
Someone who's been a light for me is my mom, because she was able to shine a light on me in a dark time and is able to separate my basketball life from my at-home life, because she's my coach at school.
My mom has been a light in my life, because she sacrificed a lot for me when I was younger, just chasing my dreams to play basketball. That's all she did, and she do everything for me. She's like my best friend. I could talk to her about anything.
Probably my parents. They always tell me the truth. It's not always what I want to hear, but it's always looking out for my best interest and looking out for what is best for me and my teammates.
It's probably my friends. I know they're always there so that I can talk to them and they listen to what I have to say. And they're always reminding me whatever happens, it's not that big of a deal, and that I'm strong enough to face it.
Me and my friends have been with each other through highs and lows. I can't count the many times that I've cried on their shoulder, they've cried on my shoulder.
Someone has been a light for me is my little brother. Whenever I look at him, I just get a motivation to go harder every time. So a lot of the stuff I do is for him.
Someone that was a light to me is my pop. He my motivation, and he helped me get through everything I do as a black young man.
Someone that's been a light for me has been my therapist. Just throughout my life, she gave me coping skills for whenever I'm feeling anxious or depressed.
Someone who's been a light in my life has been my sister. She's a couple years older than me, and she's just always been there to brighten my day or make me feel better about if I had a bad day or a mistake, and she's just been a light to me.
I say my sister, my little sister, because just knowing I have somebody younger that looks up to me, and when my parents and them get older, I'm gonna have to be that person to step up and provide. And knowing that I can't make a lot of mistakes in her face because she's gonna be following my footsteps.
Light for me in my life is definitely my sister Maggie. I'm always due for a call for her when I need something or when she needs something. So our relationship has been so impactful for me, and when I struggle, I know I can always call her or shoot her a quick text, and I know she'll respond.
It's brutal. So slow.
Good thing we brought Jersey Mike's. Is that Danny DeVito?
Don't worry about me. This is a commercial for Jersey Mike's. And at Jersey Mike's, the subs matter most. Freshly sliced right in front of you. That's what matters here. Almost forgot. I found your ball.
It's a rock.
Where the subs matter most. It's a Jersey Mike's thing. A sub above.
because the teachers ignite my curiosity.
I chose St. Mark's.
Because I get to dive into the newest tech that will help me rock the jobs of tomorrow. Because we have over 100 state championships, and this team is working on the next one.
I chose St. Mark's because of the teamwork.
Because here, I'm inspired to lead. Teachers ignite my curiosity.
I chose St. Mark's.
Because I get to dive into the newest tech that will help me rock the jobs of tomorrow. Because we have over 100 state championships, and this team is working on the next one.
I chose St. Mark's because of the teamwork.
Because here, I'm inspired to lead.
The 7th annual SL24 Basketball Classic is presented by Jersey Mike's, Platinum Dining Group, St. Mark's High School, and the Cicero family.
It's the 7th annual SL24 Basketball Classic. You see the 76ers logo. It's the home of their G League team. But tonight and tomorrow, it's Delaware basketball taking over. The best of the best in high school basketball will be here in Wilmington, all to support that cause. Unlock the light. I'm Scott Klatskin alongside Barnett Harris and Bill Harmon at the half. Game number 2 on a Friday night. Padua, St. Mark's, and at the break, Padua on top, 25-16. A great first half of basketball.
Absolutely. I'm excited for the second half. I hope St. Mark's can stay out of foul trouble and run some sets that give them some open shots.
Padua, what have they done to establish this lead? 25-16 for our viewers that are just joining in for the second half. Padua playing without Abby Grillo, who's under the weather and was unable to play there. She's their leading scorer, but Padua unfazed so far.
They've had balanced scoring. They've played excellent defense. They've defended the three for the most part fairly well. And they've attacked St. Mark's' defense with a lot of straight line drives and pushing the ball inside and working the offensive glass.
St. Mark's getting a boost from the return of Sophia Cart. She had to sit for the final 2:22 of the first half with foul trouble. She's playing now with 3. She is an offensive weapon for the St. Mark's team, and she can rebound the basketball as well. Gets one there.
And St. Mark's will go to a zone defense there, playing a 2-3 to protect Karch.
Sophia Karch, the only returning starter from 2024 for St. Mark's. Her mom, who's also the head coach of St. Mark's, had called her in the past the queen of intangibles. She did a little bit of everything for St. Mark's in her first 3 seasons. Now being asked to take on the scoring load, but help that time from Mariella Kiefer, who knocks down her first basket of the game. The first 4 in the second half belong to St. Mark's.
A really nice split and kick by Sophia Karch, getting into the middle of the lane, which you don't want to allow to happen, and that was significant because she was able to kick the ball through to the weak side without any help.
Misfire by Padua, back to St. Mark's it goes.
2 strong possessions on both ends of the floor by St. Mark's. Padua got a little sped up there on the offensive side as St. Mark's gets a drive and drawing the foul, so they should go to the line for 2. If I'm Padua and you see that zone, you want to have someone in the middle to open up everything else. So that it could be Lily DeMarco, it could be someone else. You could play somebody in the middle, play through them, they turn and see what their options are.
Daly O'Donoghue at the free throw line, one of the captains of this team, coming back for an injury, missed 6 weeks of the season. She got off to such a good start, 8 points, 11 rebounds in the season opener against AI DuPont, but then she suffered that injury, had to sit, and came back a few games ago. On January 23rd, she returned. So she's just getting back into the flow of things. You can see the tape on that right wrist as she still continues to recover. Padua looking to get on the board here in the second half. Ball goes out of bounds after a foul, and if that's on O'Donohue, I believe that's her third as well. So the two captains in foul trouble for Val Karch's squad.
Well, what's interesting that Padua's been able to build their lead without Abby Grillo, as we mentioned, but also Abby Hayes has not scored yet in the game.
Buffon, three ball, hand in the face. It didn't phase Sophia Buffon, who's now made 2 3-pointers in this one.
Range on her shot, fearless, and always shot ready.
She made 4 3-pointers in a game against Tatnall to start January, and she's got 8 for Padua tonight. Now a steal. Durantry was held up, and that's on Karch. So that's 4 on Sophia Karch, who averages 14 points per game. Double figures in 10 games, 20 points in 3 games. They're going to be without her services for as long as Coach Karch can go without her.
I almost think at this point of the game, you've got to leave her in and just see if she can play without fouling. Stay in the zone, because they're just not going to have enough offense without her.
But she's got to know not to commit that 4th foul after the steal there, reaching in and stopping a fast break. But picking up her 4th, and she lands on the bench, and that's just a huge loss for St. Mark's with 5:31 left to go and a lot of basketball left in this contest.
And St. Mark's making a little bit of a run here early in the second half, playing good team basketball. Karch kind of keys everything with her passing and or her scoring and her ball handling ability. So without her, this is going to be a really tough task for St. Mark's to handle the Padua pressure and also have enough scoring on the floor.
Markey dribbles out of bounds. Markey a couple big shots in the first half from 3 to keep it close. Now the Pandas look to add to their lead, 28-21. Buffon on the dribble drive, off the back iron. Ball loose, diving for it is DeMarco. Back to Buffon, tries to get a pass inside, it's stolen away. Here comes Husnader, and a whistle on the fast break. You mentioned, I believe, in the first game, but we haven't established in the girls' game, game number 2 of the night. It takes some getting used to, especially on these fast breaks. This is a longer court than they're used to playing at the high school level.
It's probably at least 6 feet longer. Now in high school, there is no actual length of a court that it has to be. You have some throughout the states are a little bit different. Most are 88 to 90 feet, but once in a while you have a shorter court. This one's going to be 94, so it's going to be different. I think the hardest thing, Scott, is the backdrop. With the stanchions out over the court, most gyms have something right there by the basket that makes it a little bit easier to get your sight lines.
Hayes' sight lines just fine on that shot, Bill, as she knocks in her first bucket of the evening.
And that's really important for her to get going. She's a double-figure scorer. She provides a lot of ball handling and defense and length to the Padua Pandas.
Foul on the Pandas, 4:26 left to go in quarter number 3. Game number 2 at the Chase Field House of a big basketball classic weekend. Friday night, all day on Saturday. You know what's neat about tomorrow? Things tip off at 10:24 a.m. Number 24 is, remember, the jersey number worn by Sean Locke, but a pretty neat touch put on by the folks that run this operation.
Absolutely. We're going to get to the point where we're starting at 2:24 a.m.
We won't have enough time. There's going to be so many more games that we'll be here until 3 a.m. We started at 2:24. Wraparound pass by Buffon. Nice look by Buffon, and Durantry did the rest. That's beautiful basketball. And Coach Denise Shigo-Sackett is fired up, as she should be. A timeout taken on the floor by St. Mark's will allow us to remember our friend Sean Locke a little bit more. He graduated from St. Mark's High School in 2012, and he was the first freshman in St. Mark's history to start on the varsity basketball team. He was one of the school's all-time leading scorers. He was a member of the 2012 state champion baseball team, a multi-sport athlete. He was vice president of the student council. He was homecoming king. He was voted best all around. All of that adds up to a resume where you think, this guy's got it all. But he was battling some inner demons. He was fighting with depression. He didn't have a place like Sean's house to go to and talk to a peer, and that's why we remember him and we raise funds for the SL24 Unlock the Light Foundation in his honor. They're doing great things in the community.
What's really poignant to me is I had lunch with Sean about a month and a half before he unfortunately took his life. And at the time, we had a wonderful afternoon. We spent about an hour and a half talking. I'd like to think that I can read people somewhat well. I had absolutely no idea. And that's what makes this disease so dangerous, in that you can find ways to hide it, find ways to obliterate it, even from people that know you extremely well. And my heart goes out to everybody that has, obviously, any sort of mental illness afflictions. There's help out there, and you've got to seek it, but it's just amazing how many people hold it within until, unfortunately, it becomes too late.
And as you mentioned, at that lunch that you had with him, he was fighting alone. He was fighting in the dark, and that's why we unlock the light, and we try to be a beacon of light for those fighting in the dark, to have a place to talk with a peer, to talk with a specialist, to know that you're not the only one going through this, and that there is a place to help. All of the proceeds from this event goes to the Unlock the Light Foundation, and you can text Classic 7 to 53555 if you'd like to help out.
Absolutely. And it's just, I spoke to Sean a few days before his passing, and same with, I wasn't physically present with him, but same on the phone, he just seemed so normal, so just like himself. It still shocks me to this day. Just 3 days later, I would get a call from his father that I could not have imagined in a million years. And it's inspired me to, contribute the way I can to this foundation, to this classic, as well as in my own personal life, reach out to my friends and, ask them, like, how actually are you doing? And, like, how is life going on? And just trying to be there a little bit more so they know that they don't have to navigate this alone.
And I think, Barnett, you make a really great point. In this day of multimedia, multi-connections, lots of friends from Instagrams and so on and so forth, to have somebody that wants to pick up the phone and talk to you, or actually be there in person to check on somebody, whether they're in good shape or in not good shape. I think that's so important. The human connection is something I always worry about a little bit in this environment that we're in today. But the fact that you can be together with somebody, you can, touch their hand, say hello, give them a hug, whatever it is. And I think that's so important, that we do not lose the human connection, no matter what is going on in the outside world or with these smartphones that all you guys have, because I think I love to talk to people directly. I like to look them in the eye. I like to see what their intonation's like. I don't want to guess all the time. And if there's any way we can all try to find a way to be just a little bit more human, a little bit more, I hate to use the word be redundant, connected, but I think that's really important.
Very well said, Bill, as we get to a timeout on the floor. Padua leads 32-21. If you're inspired or we connected on any of the messaging just a moment ago, make sure you head to givebutter.com/SL24 Classic 7 to help donate, so those that need help can get it any time of day, any day of week at Sean's house and with the Unlock the Light Foundation. And as we continue to talk about mental health and battling depression, if you're watching right now and you have a friend that maybe popped up in my, hey, I haven't heard from he or she in a long time, maybe just text that person, right? Hey, like you said, you spoke with Sean Locke 3 days prior to the day he lost his battle with depression. Bill, you had lunch with him a month prior. You just never know. So maybe that one phone call, that one check-in could make a difference. And, of course, that's what Sean's house is there 24/7 to do, to check in, to be there, to be that phone call, to be that interaction in person, as Bill was talking about on the campus of University of Delaware. What's so neat about Sean's house, so many things are neat about Sean's house, but it's Sean's house. It's not called Sean's house as a way to make it feel at home. He lived there.
Absolutely.
He lived there, and they've turned that again into just a way to make sure that his legacy lives on. So many amazing things done by Unlock the Life.
Absolutely. How someone could live there when he lived there, that's a different question.
I was going to say they did some pretty good rehab on that house, because I do remember it in its old days.
It's not as they didn't keep it the same way as
slight
it was.
rehab, Scotty, slight.
Burnett, this is a family program, so we won't get into anything that perhaps might have been found there. And I'm sure you guys had some fun times. He was always having fun. He was a great kid, and we miss him dearly. And we're so happy to be here and share the stories.
Now, if you'd seen Sean's house in the 2000s, how about a fraternity house in the 1970s when I was there?
Was that Bill's? What did Bill's house look like?
It was not Bill's house, but it was ATO. And let me tell you something, no parents were ever allowed in. I have no idea how we survived.
Well, we're glad that you did, and you're here today to call the action, and you were a great friend and mentor of Sean Locke's, coaching at St. Mark's with one of your fraternity brothers as the head man at St. Mark's when Sean played. And now this is, we joke, not officially, unofficially called St. Mark's night in the past. This Friday had always been 2 St. Mark's games, girls and boys, the alma mater of Sean Locke. And tonight we got an extra game. St. Elizabeth was able to defeat Archmere as O'Donoghue able to bank one through and in to get it back into single digits. But it'll be St. Mark's girls playing now, and then the boys team playing so well under coach Lonnie Wright, the nightcap here at the Chase Field House at 8 o'clock versus DMA.
That's going to be a really fun game. St. Mark's playing at a very high level. The Archmere basketball team had to compete against them about a week and a half ago and lost by 6 in a very competitive game. Lonnie Wright's done an excellent job over there. They've got some terrific players we're going to be having fun talk about. But I'll tell you what, this DMA team has had a really good season. They've had some solid wins. They played very good defense. They have a couple of excellent shooters. And I think we're in for a real treat here in a little bit of time.
Still 9 minutes up to go in this one. Padua has been in control. A little back and forth to start, but the Pandas, who are 11-4 on the season, have looked like the better ball club this evening. And now Defoe taking control. Looks like she checked the clock. Perhaps Padua going to try to work the clock. I say that as a three-pointer is fired from the corner. When you can shoot like that, why waste any more time before you get one off? Just the second three-pointer made on the season in games with stats for Gianna Graham, but she buried that one and gets the lead back up to double figures.
And no fear for that freshman. She wasn't worried about the clock winding down. She wanted to get off that shot. Nice form on that. And let's not forget, St. Mark's is still trying to hang in here without Sophia Karch, who's still on the bench, saddled with 4 fouls.
That's a great point that you make, is St. Mark's has been without Sophia Karch since the start of this third quarter. She missed the final 2 minutes and some change in the third quarter, so they've been going a long time without a player that is their go-to scorer. Everything goes through Sophia Karch. She's played in all 4 SL24 Classics. She's been playing since her freshman year, and she has been out with foul trouble for the Spartans.
And it's really cost them. St. Mark's has had 5 preventable turnovers after they went off to a 6-0 run to start the quarter. That really just hampered the momentum that they had built up to start this quarter and start their comeback.
Ball goes out of bounds. It'll be St. Mark's basketball. And could see a moment ago Coach Karch talking with Sophia. She's up on the bench. She's yelling like a coach as well, trying to get her team ready for the final 17.
She's trying to get her mother's attention to put me back in the game.
She's dying to get
put
back
me
out
in,
there.
Coach.
12 seconds on the clock. Husnader sends it back out. 7 seconds. It's Kiefer. Nice pass, open look, and beating the buzzer is Maddie Fosnow. That's the second quarter that has ended on a St. Mark's make, and that shot makes it a 10-point deficit. Padua on top, 35-25 as we head to the fourth.
Let's see if that doesn't give St. Mark's a little bit of momentum rolling in here to the fourth quarter. Sophia Karch will re-enter the game. They've just got to make sure that their defense stays sharp. They've got to force some turnovers and get a couple of easy baskets.
You're watching the SL24 Basketball Classic. It's St. Mark's, it's Padua, and the Pandas up 35-25 as we get ready for fourth quarter action.
brutal. So slow.
Good thing we brought Jersey Mike's. Is that Danny DeVito?
Don't worry about me. This is a commercial for Jersey Mike's. And at Jersey Mike's, the subs matter most. Freshly sliced right in front of you. That's what matters here. Almost forgot. I found your ball.
It's a rock.
Where the subs matter most. It's a Jersey Mike's thing. A sub above.
The 7th annual SL24 Basketball Classic is brought to you by Marticelli Restaurant Group, Matt Haley Trust, Nemours, TKO Hospitality, and by Warren & Taylor.
It's not just the basketball players having a good time on the court here at the Chase Fieldhouse. Dance squads on the floor providing some entertainment between quarters. I'm Scott Klatskin. We've been talking with Barnett Harris and Bill Harmon throughout the night, and what a honor to be sitting next to Ange Pugliese, as you are the director of Sean's House. We've been talking about Sean's House and how incredible it's been and what a difference it's been making in the community. We won't get into, we had some conversation of what it looked like when Sean lives there. You can clean it up a bit for everyone that comes through the doors. But over 33,000 people have come through those doors in a short amount of time. It opened in 2020.
Correct. And, you know, every single person is truly important to us. Every single person that walks through that door, we welcome them with a smile. Sometimes it's, you know, a cup of coffee, or we have our Pause for People dogs there, or, you know, every person that walks in, we want them to feel supported and to feel loved. So that's 33,000 people that have had a special moment in their day when they walk through the door.
It's fantastic, the difference that you are making. And Barnett Harris made a great point in the third quarter when we were talking about Sean's House, as we've been doing throughout. You're able to see the cleaned up version of Sean's House on the screen here. They had they after he was done with it. It looks beautiful. It is such a great place to be. But you mentioned people coming through the doors and having pizza, having dinner, able to enjoy themselves. But he had mentioned talking to the right people, right? It's not just you're walking through the doors and hoping someone is there to connect with. You have over 270 specialists that have been trained to support. So some of the money raised tonight goes towards teaching as well as just keeping the doors open.
Yeah, absolutely. And every single one of those peers, our peer specialists, is somebody who has had lived experience in mental health. So they're all somebody who has had some kind of mental health struggle or challenge themselves. They've been in the shoes of the people walking through those doors. And some of them have come from being guests at Sean's House to then do the training, become a peer specialist. Actually, a lot of the high school students that are here today, some of them playing on the court, some of them on cheer teams, some of them in the stands, are peer sports specialists too, who volunteer their time, you know, after school or on weekends to be there for somebody else, to provide that direct peer-to-peer, person-to-person, their age, lived experience support. And that's really what makes Sean's House, I think, unique.
It is so unique, and we're so happy that it is there to honor Sean. We were talking about how we love that it's called Sean's House, because it literally was where he lived on campus, and how his name is honored and lives on through the SL24 Unlock the Light Foundation. But we talk about everyone coming through the doors, and 33,000 is such a significant number.
Sure,
And I like to mention it throughout the broadcast, because it means that you're not alone.
Correct.
If you're feeling this way, so have over 30,000 other people, and you're changing the stigma, if there was one involved with going through those types of feelings and anxiety and depression. And now, because of Sean's House, there's some normalcy to it of, you know what, everyone's going through this.
Yeah, and I think the other thing that's unique about that and that helps with that is that we are open 24/7. So, you know, from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. is our kind of like walk-in, visiting, you know, come hang out if you want to hours. But from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m., we're still there. Because we know that even in those hours in the middle of the night, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., when you feel like you're alone, we're there at Sean's house to say, you're not alone. We're here for you. Ring the doorbell, and we're here to provide you with support. So I think that's something else that is really special and helps people, reminds people of that feeling that you're not alone, that our lights are on and available for you all the time.
We're talking with Ange Pugliese, the director of Sean's House, and talking about Sean's House. We've done so throughout the broadcast, but who to talk about it better than the director of Sean's House? And Ange, we mentioned Sean's House. It opened on September 24th, of course, 24 going with the theme in 2020, when not a lot of people were going through any doors in 2020. Remember what was going on with COVID and people staying away, a tough time to open during all of that, but always the right time because, wow, people were having depressive thoughts. They didn't have someone to talk to. At that time especially, they were left all alone in their home and not able to have that physical contact that we were talking about in the third quarter, as Bill Harmon made a great point about having someone there for you. So on time to open up when people really needed you there, and you're there 24/7. We talked about how, you can't just say, oh, I can't have depression because it's after 8 o'clock.
Right.
And sometimes those thoughts come in late at night. And the fact that you're there is fantastic, and it's all thanks to the funds raised on these next 2 days.
It is. And, you bring up a good point with that as well, which is, that COVID, I think that time period, in 2020 and beyond, we learned so much about even being able to be online for people, right? And that is something we continue at Sean's House, which is that you can call and set up a virtual peer support session at any time as well. You can call the house to set that up or email us to set that up. So even if, you're ill or you're unable to get out of your house, some people, it's hard for them to even walk through the doors. Our biggest goal is to break down every single barrier that would stop you from getting help. So those peer support sessions, those online virtual sessions that we learned so much about in 2020 and beyond, we're still honoring that at Sean's House to make sure that there is no barrier and that, wherever you are, we're going to meet you there.
Fantastic. No reason not to be able to get help, even online and in person. We've talked about it throughout this broadcast, but no reason not to mention it once again. For those that are watching, how can they support Sean's House?
There are so many ways, and they don't have to be monetary either. We get a lot of volunteers that come through the house. They help with special projects. We have a lot of interns that get service hours. So just helping, even something as simple as reshelving books in our library, or helping to clean up, or if you have a green thumb, helping plant some flowers outside. Even those are all ways that you can help Sean's House. We do have Amazon wish lists if you're looking to make a physical donation. That's always helpful, and we have things, ranging from a book to a cup of coffee to a whole outdoor dining set. And those are things that people can do for free, and beyond just the financial donations, donating your time, donating your support. I mean, sharing our message, sharing our Instagram, watching this live stream, coming to the event. We have an online auction that's going right now that has a lot of items that are really awesome. So any of those things are a support. Spreading the message and just telling people, hey, there's a place you can go, or I'll bring you to this place, or let me tell you about this place. All of those are ways to support Sean's House.
If I heard correctly, you have a therapy dog participation. Tell me about that. I'm very interested in what type of dogs that you all want to have for this. Is that something people can donate time for? That sounds like a wonderful thing. I know they're used in a lot of other ways.
Yeah, so Paws for People is an amazing organization that we've partnered with since the beginning. And they bring trained therapy dogs with them, and they are dogs of all sizes. We have German Shepherds that are big and fluffy, and we have, little tiny miniature poodles and things like that. And they're really just a way for people to, again, not feel like they're alone. Something that I think people sometimes forget about when you go off to college, people think about, oh, you leave, family, whatever. You leave your pets too. And sometimes they're missing, just being able to sit there with their dog. And animals are a great example of, they're not judging you. They're not thinking about who you are, what's your background, what are you saying, they're just there to love on you and to receive love too. And
to get some occasional treats.
Absolutely, some treats.
At least my 2 Labradors like that.
Some toys. We have a lot of golden retrievers that come through. We have some labs. And honestly, the owners of these pets become part of the Sean's House family too.
I would think that would be the case, absolutely.
Yeah, we have shout out to Safira and Becky who come every Monday. And I love when Becky, is able to check in with a student and say, hey, how was that exam that you had last week? And it's just nice to feel a part of something and to feel like this is a familiar face, whether it's an animal or a person, when they come in.
So if someone had a dog or dogs that they might want to have participate in this, how would they go about getting involved?
Yeah, so Paws for People is the organization that
so they would do it through Paws for People.
Through Paws for People. And what's been amazing is we've been able to expand that. One of the teams playing right now is St. Mark's High School, and we have been able to have our Paws dogs come to Sean's room in St. Mark's High School as well. So even in the middle of the school day, the kids can stop by for a cuddle or a treat, like you said, and see the dogs. And it really has been proven to make a difference in people's mental health, spending time with animals.
Well, I know that Paws for People. A friend of mine was on the board for a long time, just
Great.
happened to rotate off after 9 years, though.
Wow.
And we would talk so often about what he did on the board and the cause, and I just think it's a wonderful organization. I'm so happy to hear that they have integration with Sean's House.
They're great supporters of ours.
Fabulous.
And we love having extra, love around the house in any form.
Well, we love having
well done by you. Thank you.
an extra voice on the broadcast. Talk with Ange Pugliese, the director of Sean's House, and what an amazing couple of days we have here. It starts an extra game today, as typically on Friday. It's 2 St. Mark's games, the girls and the boys. We got such a great contest, St. Elizabeth versus Archmere, to get us started. What does an event like this do to help support those students that come to Sean's House?
Yeah, so if you don't know, I actually taught at Padua for 8 years. So some of my girls that I know out here on the court, and I've been a Padua student, right? So I see, these students come through the door. I know what it's like for them in the school building. I know what it's like for them in their social life outside of that, activities, sports that they do. So an event like this helps us to really expand and go towards creating more spaces like the Sean's Room at St. Mark's, like the Sean's Room at Salesiana, like the Sean's Room at the Teen Warehouse, the upcoming one that will be opening soon at St. George's. We're able to expand to get into these school buildings to really provide a mini Sean's House environment. So events like this really help us help these students directly that are playing by putting a space in their school building that they can go, because they can't all drive to Sean's House, right? Not all of them are driving yet. And having that place to go in the school building that's confidential, that is supportive, that's calming, that just gives them a little respite from the stress of the rest of their day. An event like this really helps to drive that, being able to expand upon those rooms.
Well, we appreciate you telling us all about it. Educate, assist, support. You are there in so many facets for the community. It's good to see Kiefer get up onto her feet for St. Mark's. And you know what? You came on the broadcast. You talked about Sean's House. I think we hit all the marks, and your Padua Pandas look like they're on their way to victory for you as well.
All right. That's what I like to see.
Thank you so much, Ange Pugliese. Thank you so much. And you'll be back tomorrow?
We'll catch back up tomorrow.
You'll be back on the broadcast tomorrow. That's Ange Pugliese, as she is the director of Sean's House. And we continue to talk about all the great things that Sean's House is doing in the community. We mentioned over 33,000 visitors through the door at Sean's House. It was so great to connect with Ange Pugliese, who we talked to last year. I remember having her on the broadcast, and I know she'll be on tomorrow as well to talk more about Sean's House.
She's just got the perfect personality for what she does. She's outgoing, conversational, but also totally understands the mission. And she has really done a remarkable job at Sean's House, and everyone that she's touched certainly appreciate everything that she does.
Shout out our dogs, too. I got to get Howard over to
Well, I was going to make that
right?
remark. I can't imagine how he would be anything but fabulous at this.
He would love everybody that comes through the door, your dogs as well. But as we get back into a little bit of basketball, Padua, they led by 10 coming in. Not a whole lot of scoring during our interview segments so far on the evening. Nice shot there by Hayes, who now has another three-pointer. and her box score line on the night, 42-26. And, you know, as we've been talking about Sean's house and the importance of this game and what it does, I thought it was a great point that she made as we talked to the director of Sean's house about what it does for these players being a part of it. You know, they're going to come out of this with experience, maybe learning about SL24 for the first time, with a great warm-up shirt that says Lock 24 that they're going to wear next time they play pickup game, or they'll wear as they walk around, and someone will say, what's Lock 24? And then they have an opportunity to spread the word, and just a great experience for these players. You can see how you can donate. We were talking about that QR code on the screen now, but these fans are here, they're learning about it, but there's 18 teams of players that are going to spread the word after today and tomorrow as well.
Well, you make a really salient point there, Scott, in that Chris Locke and others go in and actually have conversations with the teams before the game to explain a lot about the entire movement. Out in the community, I can't tell you how many times I'll see an SL24 shirt on the back of somebody. Sometimes our players wear it over top of the shirt they're going to practice in. It's something that's just grown on people, and obviously the players who are here and get to participate have a deeper understanding of the cause and what goes on. And I'm just so happy that the teams I've been associated with over the years, when I was at St. Mark's and now at Archmere, have been able to participate in this. Win or lose, you're a winner because of what you're learning.
And these shirts that they get to wear, it's a badge of honor, because now the Classic is so established. It says, oh, your team was good enough to play at the Chase Fieldhouse in the Classic. I mean, the best of the best in high school basketball playing over the course of the next 2 days. And I've seen so many SL24 shirts. That logo, fantastic. Unlock the light, Lock 24 on the back. And a timeout is taken by Coach Sackett. Coach Sackett was named the 2024 Catholic and Non-Conference Coach of the Year. Her team going to improve, it looks like, to 11-4, playing without Abby Grillo, who is not feeling well and unable to come to the game tonight. Before we close this one out, we talk about how important it is for the players and how much it means to everyone playing. There's a coach on the side. Every coach here gets it, I will say, but certainly for one that represents Sean's alma mater, Coach Val Karch, who talked about just how much it means to be playing in this game. She said, I consider it a privilege to be able to play in the SL24 and honor Sean. Chris Locke has done an incredible job of reducing the stigma of mental illness. Student athletes today face such intense pressure, often feeling the weight of unrealistic expectation from parents, friends, and especially social media. As a coach, I make sure mental wellness is a top priority, and we regularly talk about its importance in our team meetings. I wanted to make sure I read that word for word as she sent it, because it means so much. The message is clear to her, and she establishes mental health with her team. She said that the season has not gone the way they would want. They come in with a 5-8 record. They're on their way to 5-9, and certainly for her daughter, who is a senior, and having a losing season. But she makes sure that she checks in, and throughout those losses, this team has stayed together, and that's what impresses her most about her squad.
Well, Val really gets it. A student at St. Mark's, and then a longtime coach and teacher at St. Mark's. She's been around. She gets it. She's been in some terrific programs over there. I'm just so happy that she's getting an opportunity to show off her head coaching skills. Yes, it may not show in the record this year, but that message that you read there tells me everything I need to know about Val Karch. She obviously gets it, and gets it very deeply and very passionately.
Her daughter Sophia in double figures for the 11th time this season. She's only returning scorer from last season's SL24 game for St. Mark's. As we mentioned, she's playing all 4 SL24 Classic contests for St. Mark's. Her team's going to fall against Padua. Padua, similar theme that we talked about in game number 1. The Vikings, St. Elizabeth, had to come in playing without their leading scorer. Padua had to do the same, and players stepped up and were able to secure the victory for both of those squads.
Well, they certainly have. It's been a real team effort. Padua has some really good players. They're very balanced. They know their roles. They're well coached, and they play hard. And they've really been dynamic, I think, in the open court.
Sophia Buffon gets in double figures. Looks like she's going to pick up a win. We're going to hope another Buffon.
Her brother tomorrow.
Yeah, we're going to hope another Buffon gets a win tomorrow, as the Delaware men's basketball team will head up to New Jersey and take on Monmouth. Great family. We talked about Brandon, her brother, her father as well, and mother Renee, who was quite the athlete as well. Padua going to win this one 48-29, as they'll hold things out for the final horn Back-to-back wins at the SL24 Classic over St. Mark's on a Friday night. Great victory for head coach Nisago Sackett, and Padua improves to 11-4 on the year.
An impressive performance. It sets them up for bigger games down the road in the Catholic Conference and then on into the state tournament.
2 games in the books. We've got one more. The headliner tonight at the Chase Fieldhouse will be coming up next. It's St. Mark's. The boys basketball team will take the court. It's Sean Locke's alma mater. He played for St. Mark's, and now the Spartans will get a turn on this court on the boys' side. They will take on DMA, and we'll have that for you at 8 o'clock. It's coming up shortly. Don't go anywhere. And while you're waiting, head to unlockthelight.com/donate so you can help this great cause. It's the 7th annual SL24 Basketball Classic, and St. Mark's is taking on DMA. It's coming up next.